Good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, good morning. So happy to be back here. It's been a while since I feel like I've seen everyone. Hmm. So I actually had a first bite of breakfast. It was a little hash brown. I'm sure I'll get to the rest of it by dinner time. All right, come on, welcome, welcome, welcome. So I sent out an email, not yesterday, Saturday, referring to Rhino Bucks. So the gentleman that sold their entire stake, which is fine. See, it's curious. Well, not curious. It's we have different platforms, right? And Rhino Wealth is one of our platforms. And in Rhino Wealth, it's a stock market research platform. And in Rhino Wealth, one of the key themes is that there's a difference between price and the mechanics, right? Like Einstein said, the surface is the last thing to collapse, meaning that there is a surface of things, but underneath that surface, hey, Deborah, is all of the functionality, all of the mechanics, all of the things that make that surface. Like, for instance, if you're standing on a rooftop, well, the rooftop didn't get there by itself, right? Like, there's a building underneath it. And if you're able to see cracks in a building, you're able to see what like termites in a log cabin, like things like that. You could very well predict the roof is going to collapse. Conversely, it also works opposite as well. Like price in any type of market is based on buying and selling, supply versus demand. And that's wildly trivial. So I would never be so disrespectful to like say that and say, okay, duh, goodbye, right? In doing so, there's always the anomaly. There's always the black swan event. There's always the individual that needs something for some reason. Now, the entire foundation or the entire structure of Rhino Bucks is that the more individuals that are involved, it then lessens the volatility of any one individual, kind of like, say, Social Security, right? Or insurance, right? Insurance insures everything. And in insuring everything, when there is a storm in Florida and those homes get destroyed and they file for insurance, the insurance company's like, okay, this isn't fun, but we insure everything. Florida's one state. We can handle that because everyone else is okay. It's the insurance companies that only insure Florida that when Florida gets into a devastation, those insurance companies are like, oh my God, this is a real problem. Like our entire base is claiming insurance. In growing from where Rhino Bucks was as an idea to where Rhino Bucks is going to be, you have that natural progression, that progression being more and more people join. And in moments where we're building and launching something, less and less people join because we're not actively promoting Rhino for people to join. And in the absence of promoting Rhino for people to join, you're left with a retention rate. No retention rate is 100%. It doesn't exist. No matter what, any walk of life, of the X amount of people that you have, for whatever reason, one will leave over a period of time. Two will leave, three will leave. There does not exist a 100% retention rate, and there shouldn't. People are all different. They come from different walks of life. When you take a look at a chart of Bitcoin, and if you go back to its early days, what you see is, I believe they've had like 13 separate periods of 90% drawdowns. 90%. But can you see it on a chart today? No. In fact, if you look at a chart of Bitcoin from 2010, it looks like this, right? But if you look at a chart of Bitcoin from 2010 to 2011, it looks like this, right? And if you look at a chart of Bitcoin from, say, 2011 to 2012, it looks like this. But then if you look at a chart of Bitcoin from 2011 or 2012 to 2013, it looks like this. The point being, when you take a step back and see the asset for its entire lifetime, those up and down of 90% are smoothed out because Bitcoin was what, a penny once, and then it got to 70,000. Do you think when it was $1 and it went down to 10 cents, you could even see that on a chart? No, of course you can't. But imagine being in Bitcoin when it was $1 and it went down to 10 cents. Your whole life was destroyed. Oh my God, it's down 90%. How did this happen? Why am I so dumb? That's how assets work. That's how assets work, especially in the beginning days, in the infancy of it, where you're gaining adoption, where you're gaining newcomers, where you're putting out still, like we're still inventing, we're still building, we still have our biggest days ahead of us. The value proposition that Rhino Bucks is the fact that we went ahead and before, what am I trying to say? Like before we ever needed to do it, we put our entire platform on a free market, right? There is no such thing as a startup company that ever in their wildest imagination would say, you know what? We want everyone to know everything. In fact, not only do we want everyone to know everything, we want everyone to actually hold the power to destroy us. We want to give everyone the power to destroy us. That's essentially what Rhino does. If everyone sold all their Rhino bucks, Rhino would go to what? Zero? And then what would happen? Well, everyone would cancel their plans. There'd be no more income. There'd be no more invention. There'd be no more anything. Now, even as I say that, it'd still be me, so I'd figure something out. But the point being, what we know of Rhino would really, it wouldn't be good. So in what world does a company ever allow its members to hold that power? And it's kind of like, there's a saying I heard about love once. Um, love is trusting your partner with enough information that they can destroy you, but knowing they never will. I'm not going to say my next sentence because it's personal and it's probably just going to get me in trouble. But that's the definition, right? And that is Rhino. Everyone knows everything. Everyone has the power to destroy us at any point. That being said, the individual that's sold, I'm actually good friends with. Like I've spoken to this person, I don't know, maybe 23, 24 times. They've been there since the beginning. This person's actually quite opportunistic. Every time we ever did a promo, that's where they bought the most. Like they nailed it. Like this individual probably tripled or quadrupled their money. This individual actually has been looking to sell for a couple of months now. In fact, if you remember, I said a couple of months back that there might be a seller coming on. In fact, I helped him. I told him how to do it, but he never sold. And I'm like, okay, he's just never going to sell. Even better, great. Then he booked a call with me last Wednesday and said, hey, Ant, I have this opportunity. It's like really, I need it now. Can you loan me money off my Rhino? I was like, I would love to. We're not there yet, right? Like we're still building. I'm still week to week as money comes in. I'm not there. But if you could give me a month, I think we could be there because let me just get the Rhino friend launch out. He goes, I don't have a month. He goes, I need to do it now. I was like, I really wish I could. I don't, I can't. He goes, all right, well, let me run. I go, was that everything? I mean, we have a half hour to call. I don't want to rush you off. If there was something else, I'm here for it. He goes, no, that was everything. Now, looking back at it, the one thing, and I never want to say disappointed, right? Because nobody owes me anything. It's a market. It's everyone's money. Nobody owes me anything. That being said, if I had to categorize this individual, and you asked me, Ant, do you think this individual would give you a heads up? I would actually try to work with you. I would say the answer is yes. In fact, I would bet 100 out of 100 times the answer is yes. If you would ask, and say he gave me a heads up, Ant, I'm selling everything Saturday. I'd be like, well, do you like need to do that? Ant, I need to do it. Okay, fine. I'm not stopping you. But at least I could kind of let everyone know, hey guys, something's about to happen. And I don't think that would be enough for people to say, oh, well, let me sell ahead of, no, nobody's here for just like a double. That's crazy. It doesn't even make sense to me. There's so many, if you want to double, go bet a football game, right? If you win, your money will get doubled immediately. And if you lose, at least you lost really, really quickly and you pulled the Band-Aid off and you didn't have to come to all these lives, right? So it doesn't even make sense to me for a double. Well, Ant, you said you made a triple. Okay. Even that doesn't make sense to me. Unless you need the funds. Like you need the funds. That's a different story. When you need the funds, you need the funds. What Rhino always prides itself on, and I've said it a bazillion times, was that my number one goal is return of capital, not return on capital. My number two goal is to make everyone money, right? Like that's part of why That's why we're here. But if nobody had trust that I could even return your money, well, then what the heck would it matter if I could make money on it? Hey, Brian, I made you 100% on your money since yesterday. In fact, remember you put in 1,000, it's now worth $100,000. Wow, Aunt, you're great. How do I get my money? You can't. What do you mean I can't? Nope, you can't. It, it's worth 100,000, but you can never have it. Well, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. Well, I wanted to make you money on your money, but to take your money back, what are you crazy? I'll never give that to you. And as silly as that sounds, that's kind of like 99% of the world. Nobody ever gives anyone their money back. For me, being having a market background, that was always the number one goal, that anyone could always have their money back. And what's pretty cool about it, like, duh, it's going from 270 to 2. Do you think I'm jumping up and down about that? No. But like the guy I told you that I used to have a client, and when life gives me lemons, I'll suck them. I'll suck those lemons. I'll suck the juice out of those lemons. Um, when life gives you lemons, well, I make lemonade, right? Like I don't suck lemons, but I guess it's kind of the same thing. It's just the juice in a cup, and maybe I'm a little bit more civilized than that individual. But take a look at what we saw. First of all, Rhino is where it was exactly 57 days ago. That was June 29th. No, now June 30th. Now the price isn't, but we've always been putting money into Rhino, like into the liquidity pool. So if you said, yeah, the total value of Rhino, this guy, what happened? Yeah, he brought it to where it was less than 2 months ago. Now, am I thrilled we have to make up 2 months of time? No. But do I think it's going to take us 2 months to make up that time? No, we're doing a big launch right now. I'm going to have it out tonight. And if I don't, I will punch myself in my face on live tomorrow and I'll have a bruise. But what was cool about it, right? Like, yeah, exactly right. What was cool about it? We saw someone actually collect $10,500 in a second. Like, I get it, and it came from Rhino. It was in our liquidity pool. Cool. That's not my money. It's the market's money. And the way you access that money is by having the Rhino. That's your ticket to that money. Somebody took out $10,500 like that and got it. Listen, you could be like, well, Ant, this is really a tough time. No, I almost think that's worth celebrating. That should be our marketing. Hey, look at this guy took out 10,500 like that. You know what? In the sickest world, if I was ever getting into a crypto, I wouldn't get into it because someone told me like, hey, you're gonna make a ton of money. Trust me. I would actually get into it if they're like, did you just see someone pulled out close to $11,000 in a second? The market held up. Well, here's your opportunity, Ant. Now the market's down like what, 20% or something, which means you have the opportunity to buy what they just sold 20% less than they sold it at. And whatever, you have the opportunity to get in, right? Like, duh. Oh, and the Einstein thing where the price and what's underneath it are different. It didn't go down because anything functional with the company. There was nothing structural with Rhino. It was one person in an immature market, right? Because we're still infancy in this market. The eighth largest holder. I mean, we're talking about like a perfect storm scenario here. The eighth largest holder sold everything because they needed it that second. What do you think was going to happen? But does that have anything to do with Rhino? Does that have anything to do with structurally Rhino? In fact, it's like walking past a Ferrari. The Ferrari's $100,000. The next day you walk past a Ferrari, it's $75,000. And you're like, oh my God, the Ferrari 75,000. This is my opportunity to buy it. That's what a smart person would say. You know what a not smart person would say? You know what? I wanted to buy that Ferrari at 100,000, but this discount, this is scaring the bejesus out of me. I will not pay 75,000 for a Ferrari. I will only pay 100,000 for a Ferrari. In what world does that even make sense? Like, I promise you, in life, and I'm learning a lot more about life right now in a very personal way. There's so much that it makes no sense. It's almost like every day is like another Groundhog's Day when people surprising you with like their silliness. But that's okay. My job isn't to cure the craziness. It's to go ahead and provide a platform that can evolve what we are to where we want to be by offering opportunity, dignity, security, and community, right? That we don't need anyone else. We can do this by ourselves, and let's do it. So that's my take on Rhino Bucks. I'm in no rush to like buy it up crazily. Like I'm going to stay at the same pace. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm going to just, no, I'm staying at the same pace. And the $2 mark is kind of personal to me because when we did fortify the market that time, I took it at 2. I said I was going to defend it, and I did. So it's almost like really personal to me. So I'm going to defend 2. But my point being, I'm not going to liquidate things that we're doing to buy it up to like 240 just so I can, feel like I need to save face or something. No, I'm talking to you like adults right now. This is what happened. That's life. But it doesn't change anything. In fact, anyone that was thinking about selling this weekend, well, this is not fun for you, right? Like if you were looking to sell immediately, well then sorry. And not sorry, me saying sorry to you, but sorry, the situation is not as ideal. But to anyone not looking to sell this exact weekend, this makes no difference to your life at all. 0. Okay, so that's that. So OpenAI got back to us and I wrote this in the email, but boosted our spend to $2,000 a month, which actually I have to get back to one of our rhinos, and I don't know if he's on, but I do have to email somebody because I promised them something. He's not on. No, I'll email him later. I have to actually write that down. Like I was sharing in our email, OpenAI is not devoid of customers. It's like Facebook. Do you remember when Facebook was really, really popular? I mean, I guess it still is, but a couple of years ago where everyone's, my account's getting shut down, they banned me, I spent $100,000 with them and they just shut me down. Well, it's because Facebook doesn't actually need your money. What Facebook needs is to continue being a viable company. Meaning, if you're a certain level of risk that you're putting out an ad that goes against their policy, well, what's worth more to Facebook? The, say, $100 ad spend that you're doing. So say you did it for a month and now your ad spend in a month was 100 times 30 days, so $3,000. And you're constantly trying to skirt the rules and you're recommending some crypto that's really like a pump and dump scheme. So Facebook recognizes that and they're like, whoa, we're banning you. You're done. Get out of here. And you say, but hey, I'm giving you money. I'm paying you. You know what they say? We don't care. We're not devoid of people looking to give us money. Everyone wants to give us money to market. And in fact, on top of the people that want to give us money for the right reasons, there's even more people that want to give us money for the wrong reasons. Therefore, money is not the issue. The issue is our ability to stay a solvent company. Because if all of a sudden we don't crack down and we let you do this stupid, crypto scam and you scam a whole bunch of people, you know what they're going to say? Well, I got my information from Facebook. Facebook put this through. Facebook has these policies that they said that they defend. When I went ahead and clicked that, I did not think it was a scam because Facebook, by allowing them to put this up there, implicitly or explicitly is, saying that it's okay, it's safe. Now, of course, that's a crock. But have you ever known unscrupulous lawyers? Because I can promise you, I know one right now. These individuals are the dirtbags of life. They have no problem just lying. And I promise you, going through the court process, you can lie all day. You could actually just keep lying. Now, the one thing I will say is that the point where the lies come home to roost is when the judge makes a decision. The judges, and it sounds so silly because, you go to court, there's a judge. Yes, but that's such a simple sentence because from when you go to court to when the judge makes a decision, there's like weeks and weeks and weeks. There's months even. The judges are highly competent. The judge I had and the judge I do have now, they're amazing. I feel so comfortable with these people, with these judges, right? Not people, I want to revere them, right? They're superior court judges. Let's give them their due, right? Their respect. But between now and when those judges make the decision, you can just keep lying. And the only recourse that one feels is, well, you have the police. If somebody lies, you call the police. The police don't, get your cat out of the tree, though. They're police officers. They're looking to catch criminals. They're there to defend innocent from criminals. They're there in case there's crimes happening. You know what they say to you when you say, "Hey, the judge said this, the lawyer said this, but here's what this person's doing," which is against all of that. The police say it's not a crime to lie. If you have a problem, go back to court. And then you sit there and you're like, I sat in court. Everyone agreed to everything. And the second I get out, everyone throws it out a window and everyone does exactly what they want to do. But that's what lawyers do, right? Like that's what they're there for. Lawyers have immunity. They're just the point being, there's always going to be a lawyer that has no problem lying. So they'll go ahead and get a class action. All right, let me find the 20 people or the 200 people, the 1,000 people that got caught up in the scam. Because Facebook's a big company. So if I could get these 2,000 people all to sign off on a class action lawsuit, hey, did you get scammed? Did you get scammed? Didn't they tell you it was safe? I mean, they wrote it, right? And you accepted the terms, right? So yeah, duh. They did say it was. Yeah, you're telling me they said it was safe, right? Okay, great. Then they go ahead and sue Facebook. Now you think Facebook wants that headline? No. In what world do they want that headline? They're like, okay, we'll just settle with you. Just go away. You like, you know, ambulance chaser. Just go away. Well, that costs a lot of money. Did it cost Facebook more than the $3,000 this person was giving them? Yes, of course it does. Now take that and times it by infinity because OpenAI is the quickest platform ever to get to 1 million subscribers. I think it took 5 hours. OpenAI has broken every record in the history of any internet record ever, meaning they don't need money. They don't need clients. They have that. They have that in spades. Think about all the unscrupulous things you could have done with Facebook marketing. Now multiply that by artificial intelligence. Do you know what you could do? Like really, really bad stuff. In fact, I'm sure there's people doing really bad stuff. Do you know Sam Altman, the owner of OpenAI, walks around with a blue briefcase? Do you know what's in that briefcase? Detonation codes. You know how like the president has the nuclear codes with him at all times? Sam Altman has the same thing, except detonation codes for the servers of OpenAI. You know how scary that is? That this man who created this platform, of course, he's wildly confident, right? And you can be. But even he says to himself, I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what other people can do. I don't know how they can perverse this. I don't know what can happen to this AI. But I do know if something happens, I can end it and blow it all up right there. That's what he walks around with. So do you think a man like that just says, oh, hey, Rhino, I don't know who you are. Oh, you want our top AI and you're willing to pay us $2,000 a month for it? Ah, sure. Here, take it. Do what you want with it. No, that's not how it works. In fact, who's Rhino, right? Like, are we anything special? I mean, we think we're special because, we think we're going to do big things. But right now, does anyone know who we are other than the people in it? No. I mean, some people heard of us. That's fine. But in the big scheme of things, we're not more important than, say, Kellogg's. We're not more important than General Mills. But in terms of AI, I don't know this sentence to be true. So let me say that off the bat. But I think it's true. I think if Walgreens signed up with OpenAI today, they would not have access to the technology that we have. Now, the reason I say that is because Walgreens is obviously a very reputable company. So I'm thinking to myself, well, OpenAI, would they say, well, you're Walgreens. Like, I don't need to really vet you that much. Maybe, right? Like, I don't know that. So maybe it's a bad example. But let's say a billionaire named Ted Smith signed up to OpenAI and he said, listen, I'll give you $1 billion right now. They would say, I'm sorry, like it doesn't work like that. We'll give you 3.5 for free. We'll give you $15 worth of spend on it. And if we find that you're a credible person, we'll allow you to up your spend. And then if you go ahead and you're okay, we'll give you the 4.0. And then if you're okay, we started at $5 and then went to 15. then went to 100, then went to 200, then went to 500, then went to 1,000. Now we're at 2,000. Every one of those increases was a complete vetting process and a 4-day approval process. And that's us asking them for us to give them money. So it is with my pleasure, or it is with great pleasure, that I say that, again, despite anything that people may see, we're only getting more capable, and we now have that. And the reason we gave OpenAI was that we told them that we were launching this Rhino friend, and that we do believe that the use case is going to scale quite quickly, and we wanted to show them the respect to not ask for a big bump up right away, but to ask it gradually. So they already know we're going to ask for more. They said yes, knowing that we're going to ask for more. That's a good thing. Yeah. Rhino friend. Oh, so this is actually kind of like really important. And I'm going to say this kind of in jest a little bit. It might sound a little rude. But I've spoken, this is an original investor. And I say this because A, I've said the same thing to him, right? And secondly, I know he's not on live right now, but if he does join live or one of his referrals are watching, I kind of want them to go back to him and say it, and he'll just laugh and be like, that's Anthony, right? Like Anthony. So one of our original investors, for the longest time, would schedule an hour-long call with me every 2 weeks, and really was quite like the most obnoxious person you could ever talk to. And not that they didn't have good ideas, but it was one of those people that always spoke about things but never took any action. In fact, I got to the point where I was like, I can't talk to you no more. It's bad for my mental health. Because every time we talk about doing anything, you then put me in a position that I have to follow up with you, and you just don't do it because you want to participate more with stuff. And I go, I can't talk to you. I just can't. A, I don't have the time, and B, it's bad for my mental health. Like, you're actually ruining my mood every day. Which sounds really rude. Anthony, how dare you say that to someone? It actually reminds me, it's a funny story. So when Apple's watch came out, it checked your pulse. And there was a funeral that I had gone to. And then there's the party, not the party, but the reception afterwards, or whatever it's called, where everyone's drinking at the bar, talking about the person. And the person that passed away had a sister that always had a crush on me. And the sister was someone I would never date in a million years. And she thought that to be the opportunity to come talk to me, right? Like, how can I walk away? Her brother just passed. So she's talking to me, and my blood is boiling because I know what she's doing. And it's so disrespectful to the person that just passed for you to be using this as your moment. So my watch starts beeping, and she goes, what's that? And I look at it, and it says, take a breath, your pulse is racing, or something like that. She goes, wait, why? I go, this is going to sound really rude, but I'm scientifically getting bothered by you being next to me. Like, scientifically. She goes, in what world is that not rude? I go, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's scientifically telling me that you're bothering me. But anyway, the point being that I forget where I was, the train of thought. But Rhino, oh, okay, so the gentleman. So he's like, how is that not rude? And I go, well, I love you, right? Like, that's why it's not rude. You know, it's coming from my heart. So we really don't speak all that much. And then he saw my affiliate offer that we're going to do $40 affiliates for every. So it's $50 to enroll, and 40 of it will go to the affiliate. And he goes, Ann, I see what you're doing, and it's great. It's really great. He goes, but let me share something with you. He goes, I actually got big into the affiliate stuff as of late. I have a guru, a mentor, whatever nonsense. And he goes, so I'm working with really big affiliates. And what you learn about these affiliates is they're big affiliates because they've spent their whole life nurturing their list. Like, they have a good list. They can, if something's ethical to them, and that's how they nurture, right? Like, they don't just pump garbage out. If something's good, they're able to make money on it. But they also do filter which ones give them the best opportunity, gives them the best bang for their buck. So when you're offering $40, what you don't understand is they have to do a whole weekend's campaign. That weekend is worth X amount of money to them because they have many offers for $1,000 ticket that will give them 50% that they can make $500 on. Now, of course, they might not sell as many, but all they need to do is sell, say, 10% as many, and they're still making more money, 500 versus $40. He goes, what they actually do, the way they really pick their offers, is what gives them residual income for life, recurring. He goes, I say this to you because every one of your programs is a weekly program. He goes, you're actually perfectly aligned that if you just bump your prices up a little bit or you accept less, you can actually feed these people for life. In which case, these people now are wildly excited to be a part of something new. He goes, Anthony, everything you're doing is revolutionary. It's not like you're talking about like, hey, I made a toothpick and it's a better toothpick. I just need people to sell the toothpick. He goes, no, you're actually inventing the next form of marketing. This could be something that really a lot of people want to get into. If you went ahead and gave that $40 and then gave them $5 a week per person for life, the lifetime the person's in, oh my God, what the interest you would get from these people. And it hit me. I was like, whoa, that's a big deal. Like, that's where we need to be. We need to be with those people. I need to speak to those people. I need to get on the phone with those people because I can make that offer. Because, when we spoke the other day and I shared with you what Rhino's pricing is and what fair pricing, and there's a difference. Rhino prices everything at cost, pretty much. There's overhead, obviously, but everything's pretty much at cost. But if we want to price something fairly, there'd be plenty of meat on the bone for the affiliates to make money, which is why we did the $40 to begin with. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to bump that $10 up to $15, and that $5 extra will go to the affiliate that brings in that referral for life of the lifetime of the referral. Meaning, and like this original Rhino had said to me, well, Ant, think about it. Now these individuals are dedicated to you for life. Like, your platform is one that they're constantly going to be nurturing because they have their people in it. They're earning from you every single week. And if you continue offering such a, generous reward, or, you make levels to it and you give them special whatever, well, they're going to be with you for life. This is how you act. He goes, Ant, I've never actually. And then he said something rude to me, right? Like, you're terrible at marketing, Ant. And I said, thanks. I know this. He goes, but there's a clear A to B right now. If you do that, I'll do my best to gain awareness. And you just go out there and talk to everyone and say, hey, do you know the affiliates? Get me in the room with them. Get me on the phone with them. Give me their email. I will call them myself. He goes, Ant, you could go on TikTok and just scroll every single stupid video and just take everyone's emails. He's like, there's so much you could do if you make that offer. I was like, wow, this is the first time I spoke to you where I actually feel better about my life. And he's like, well, that was rude. And I go, yeah, well, we have this thing going, right? Like, we love it. We love each other. And I go, I actually have to go because I did have to do something at that point. But that changed my mind. That changed things. So that's going to be a part of Rhino Friend. It's going to be built with an emphasis on the affiliate side of things. Because remember, Rhino Friend replicates itself. Rhino Friend, if you get into the free base version, it's still going to upsell you into the premium version. Remember, Rhino Agency is a free offering that we're including so that anyone that feels like they don't have their own business to warrant them upgrading can actually enroll in Rhino Agency, gain certifications from AI stuff, and we guarantee that we will hire them and book them out as a Rhino Agency member. Now you might say, well, Anthony, what do they need Rhino Business for at that point? Well, we're going to be booking them out less than what the market value is, not because we're mean people, but because we're guaranteeing work. So if the market value is $100 an hour for a competent AI worker, I have no problem booking people out $50 an hour and guaranteeing the work. In which case, you know how much work we're going to get? A lot. We just undercut the market in half. How did we undercut the market in half? Because we didn't hire competent workers. We trained competent workers. Meaning these competent workers are basically using us as a launch point. You know what happens when these competent workers say, hey, listen, I appreciate my time with Rhino. It kind of felt like college. I learned stuff, but I could go out on my own and make 100 an hour rather than 50 an hour with Rhino. You know what we say? God bless. Good for you. You graduated. Go out on your own. Get out of here. You know what they say? But now I want to be part of Rhino Business. Duh. Of course you do. You're going to list here. See how that works? We can guarantee Rhino Agency because we have cheap labor. It's not cheap labor because they jumped over a fence. It's cheap labor because they're not competent. They're learning it. They're they're it sounds rude to say they're not competent, but I'm speaking about competency in the terms of experience, right? Okay, let's say that they're not experienced, but that's because they're trained. It's almost like a paid internship. And when they say, "Hey, listen, I'm more experienced than this 50 an hour. I could be earning 100 an hour by myself." Yes, thank you. That's what we want for you. Leave. So when you take a look at the entire offering, it's perfect. It really, really is. So that's that. So that's kind of where my mind's at. I did purchase Doodly yesterday. It's a animation software that allows you to kind of like on a whiteboard, draw something, but they have plenty of drag and drops that you can create it. The reason being, that 3-minute video that I want to have on Rhino Friend needs to be needs a fifth grader to be able to understand it. Because what we're going to say is, this is how Facebook makes their money. This is why we're the evolution to it. This is how Google makes their money. This is why we're the evolution to it. Rhino Street, Rhino Agency, Rhino Friend. This is how it works. Now, even that sounds complicated, and I get that, right? Like I haven't scripted it in my head yet, but I need to show someone how it's done, show them why we're better, and that's it. And I want to do it's not with my face on it, but with, like a whiteboard. So I'm going to be spending a couple hours doing that today. Then there's going to be, I think, a 2-minute video at the bottom, which might actually have my face. I don't know, but I do need to make a sales pitch too. And then the page will be done. And then we could get this launch out. That's the goal for today. So that's that. And that will not be a goal that we will recognize if I stay on this, stay talking, but I haven't been on in a couple of days. And I just want to kind of get that off my chest. So love y'all. For those that are on Rhino Wealth, I will be doing Rhino Wealth today at 11. This video, I'm going to kind of hurry right now to get posted. I probably won't edit much of it because that's kind of where it takes the most time when I edit things. I'm just going to kind of get it out there. And let's see where we land today. But we're close. Like we have everything. Now we just need to do it. So it's almost like a cook. I have the ingredients. I have the kitchen. I have the knife. I have the board. Now just do it. So I love y'all, and I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll have an email out. Oh, thanks, Andy. Hopefully tonight's email at 7:30 will say, "Welcome to Rhino Friend. Get involved now." That's the goal. If it doesn't say that, I'm not really going to punch myself in the face tomorrow, but I will Wednesday. I promise you that. If it's not out by Tuesday night, I will punch myself in the face Wednesday. I love y'all. Thank you. Bye. Will the video be playing? Yeah. So the video that will go on the website will, I mean, it's not going to be playing when you go on it. You have to press play, but it will play. I think that was the answer to your question. All right. Bye.